All right, this is Miracles Part 2. We're going to talk a little bit more about the miracles that Jesus performed. And then after that, I will be giving another testimony about what God has done for me. Here are Matthew 8. We're going to start at the 14th verse. I'm coming out of the NLT. Jesus heals many people. When Jesus arrived at Peter's house, Peter's mother-in-law was sick in bed with a high fever. But when Jesus touched her hand, the fever left her. Then she got up and prepared a meal for him. So after all that, she rose up and prepared a meal. You know she was healed. That evening, many demon-possessed people were brought to Jesus. He cast out the evil spirits with a simple command, and he healed all the sick. This fulfilled the word of the Lord through the prophet Isaiah, who said, "He took our sickness and removed our diseases." The cost of following Jesus. You mean there's a cost following Jesus? Yep, there is a cost. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he instructed his disciples to cross to the other side of the lake. Then one of the teachers of religious law said to him, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." But Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens to live in, and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place even to lay his head." Another of his disciples said, "Lord, first let me return home and bury my father." But Jesus told him, "Follow me now. Let the spiritually dead bury their own dead." So whenever you follow Jesus, those of us who are followers away, there's always going to be some type of oppression. There's always going to be something that you have to sacrifice. You're going to go through it, but thank God that you're going to be delivered, out of the trials eventually. But we do have to go through things following Jesus. There is definitely a cost when it comes to following Jesus. Jesus calms the storm. Then Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with his disciples. Suddenly, a fierce storm struck the lake, with waves breaking into the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." Jesus responded, "Why are you afraid? You have so little faith." So the disciples were in the boat. It was a storm coming through, and they got so fearful, but Jesus was there. But he said, "Why are you afraid? You have so little faith." Then he got up and rebuked the wind and waves, and suddenly there was a great calm. And oh my goodness, that's a miracle. He rebuked the wind and the waves, and everything stopped. The disciples were amazed. "Who is this man?" they asked. "Even the winds and waves obey him." All right, so I used to work for the post office back in the day. And so I drove up to my route. I was getting ready to, walk down and start my route. But when I walked down or got off the postal truck, I went to twist my ankle. So as I stepped down, I twisted my ankle. And at the time, I didn't have insurance. I didn't have the money to be going to this hospital, that hospital, this and that. So what I simply did is I just prayed that God, I prayed for my twisted ankle, and I prayed that God straightened it out, and so it hurt. So I prayed, and I believed that God could heal my foot because he's healed me from things before. And so I just believed, I had the faith. And, even though when I was walking after I prayed, my ankle still hurt. But as I kept walking, taking one step at a time, I just said, "Thank God for my healing. Thank God for my healing." I think it was, a couple of days my ankle hurt. But after a while, I said, "Thank you for my healing." Each time it hurt, "Thank you for my healing. I know you had healed me." And then after a while, before I knew it, I didn't feel the pain anymore. So he had healed me. So I wanted to share that with you. And again, the reason why I'm doing this series is because I want to share what God has done for me. So if he can do it for me, he definitely can do it for you. All you have to do is believe. If you're listening to this and you don't know Yahushua as your Savior, click the link in the description box. I tell you how to get saved. Have a good day.